Actually, it's Christians.
2 Christians to be exact. I'm Christian Taylor.
And I'm Christian Miller.
And this is the podcast for small creators.
All right, Christian, it is episode 4. How are you doing today?
I am doing the best I've ever been doing when we've recorded this podcast because school is out. We're not recording this at a stupid hour. And so my brain is actually functioning. Like, we literally sounded high in the intro on episode 3. We were both lagging so much. You were like, actually, it's Christians. Every time I listen to that, I laugh so hard.
Well, now I'm going to have to re-listen. I didn't notice that.
Dude, we both sound so high. It's hilarious.
As fitting with Stereotype, we are recording against a time limit because we like to set some kind of pain on our, that wasn't worded very well, but we like to set some sort of problem for us when it comes to recording, whether it's recording really early, really late, or against a deadline.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm doing good too, actually. So I have a question for you before we begin. What category is our podcast in? Okay, I was listening to my favorite comedy podcast about death, Dear Hank and John.
Yeah, of course you were.
Mm-hmm. As I do.
Would you get upset if I told you I listened to that?
You did listen to it. No, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be excited.
I mean, I'm not saying I paid any attention. However, I did let it run in the background for 5 minutes.
I don't think that counts.
I mean, they were talking about really nerdy sciencey stuff, so I kind of just tuned out.
Okay, first of all, you could have enjoyed John's side of that because John is not a sciencey person, and so likely there was some interesting things that you would agree with. Secondly, I really dislike your dismissal of things that you do not understand or don't like as nerdy, because we have a podcast about YouTube, which is about as nerdy as it gets,
okay,
so let's not be dismissive.
Okay. All right. Okay. I remember one thing. This girl wrote in and she was like, hey, I have all this money I got for my birthday forever ago and I don't know what to spend it on. So please help. And that's the only thing I remember.
Okay. I remember that question. And John suggested that she buy 20 copies of his book. I do not think that was the best question to go in on, but regardless, I'm disappointed in you, Christian, a little bit. I work a manual labor job at my college this summer, and I listened to all the episodes I haven't heard yet, basically, while I'm working. So I've been listening to so much Dear Hank and John, 5 or 6 hours a day of Dear Hank and John this week. So I'm very into it right now, and you are not, and that's disappointing.
We should do a trade. I should find a podcast I love that I think will just really not be of any interest to you.
Just any tech podcast.
And then so you're in the same situation. Oh, accidental tech podcasts. That's it.
All right. You're going to have to remind me of this because I'm not going to write it down and I'm going to forget almost without doubt. And the only way I would remember is if you brought it up constantly like I bring up Dear Hank and John constantly.
True. By some miracle, I remember this whole thing started because you were asking what category our podcast is in. Now, if you're meaning on theoretical iTunes. Category, okay. On iTunes, it's under TV and film, which is the closest thing I could find.
You know, we could always be like Dear Hank and John and be a comedy podcast that isn't very funny.
That's true.
I actually think Dear Hank and John is hilarious, but it's not conventionally funny.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I know, because you've listened to 5 minutes of one episode. Just I can't. Have you listened to the Anthropocene Reviewed?
Nope.
That one you might actually even enjoy, but whatever. Oh, another podcast I've been, well, not podcast, but like podcast type thing I've been listening to while I work is, you know, the 1940s Superman radio show?
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, you know who the character Superman is, right?
Briefly, I mean, who doesn't know who Superman is? Right. But at the same time, I really have never actually known a lot.
In the 1940s, they made a radio show with like 15-minute long episodes about Superman, and it is amazing. It is the most silly, cartoony, cheesy thing I've ever heard, but it's actually well made and surprisingly engaging. So
I was about to dismiss it as nerdy again, but you impacted my life. I actually stopped myself because Christian Miller came into my head and was like, "Excuse me, I find it very offensive that you just dismiss it like that."
I don't believe I used the word offensive. I'm pretty sure that you're just trained to be like, oh, someone doesn't like that I said something, they must be a triggered liberal. Like, come on, dude. I'm just saying that you might be being unnecessarily dismissive, and you know that's a different thing than oh, I'm so triggered, you know. So I don't know.
Well, this went nowhere fast.
I think it's gone a lot of places, just nowhere important.
True.
So, I do have another question though. Have you watched? Okay, so we're both fans of the channel Blimey Cow, and
we are.
By extension, I assume Jordan Taylor's personal channel. Although I'm not sure that you are necessarily.
I watch about like a third of his videos.
Did you watch his video about waking up at 5 a.m.?
I saw about half of it.
Okay, well, this is gonna.
I did not ever finish it.
This bit is not going to be as good as it could be because of that, but it's okay. So I watched that video, and then also coincidentally, in a bit of the stars aligning, my work starts at 6:30 in the morning. So I have started for the past week, since Tuesday, getting up at 5 a.m. And 2 of those days I've gone on a run, and it's actually kind of great.
I'm so not okay with that.
He is kind of right, actually. It's kind of amazing.
But okay, I'm going to get really nerdy here. I feel like there's a such thing as your body clock just not being optimized to wake up early, because I swear, no matter how much I've been like, I'm going to get up early, it does not work for me. I'm always tired and I never can go to sleep at the proper time. I still am up till like 11 or 12, even if I get up at like 6 a.m., 5 days in a row or whatever.
Well, I think the key for me was 2 things. Firstly, I'm not really either a morning or night person inherently, so I have that benefit. 2, I have to get up at least at the latest like 6:15 anyway to go to work. So it wasn't that much of an extra jump, and I felt kind of the inspiration. And then I think you have to force yourself to go to bed. Like, you have to go to bed on time. You just go to bed on time. And it makes a surprising amount of difference. And I will say there is something nice about kind of this different calendar where I get up, I get about an hour and a half of kind of productivity in the morning / waking up, and it kind of, not many other people are up and about. So it's kind of nice. And then, I go to work for 8.5 hours, and then I come back and I'm like, all right, well, I've got kind of, I've got 5 or 6 hours. And then when the sun goes down a little bit later, so will I. And it's not bad. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting lifestyle. One that I don't think is for me at the moment. However, I'm homeschooled. So right now I kind of just get to set my own hours.
I will say there's something really valuable to a consistent sleep schedule. And this getting up at 5 a.m. thing has really helped because you have to have a consistent sleep schedule.
Yeah, I'm definitely a believer in that. I'm on like an 11 to between 7 and 8 sleep schedule. I sleep a lot, but whenever I don't, I'm like a total zombie.
No, same. For a while, I actually went through a period where I had to sleep 10 hours a night, or I was just incapable of doing anything. That was an unfortunate period, but like, I definitely need a solid 8 hours in general to function. But no, so actually, coincidentally, to some degree, after I have started doing this, I have or like as I've started doing this, I've started feeling really productive, and I have finally, with my brother Dominic, started uploading regularly to our channel again.
Well, now that's exciting.
Finally,
Consistent uploads.
yeah,
That's huge.
we're actually right now on a twice weekly schedule. It kind of accidentally happened. Basically, what happened is I reviewed Solo on Friday, and then I had been working on this video on, you saw the video on the TV show 13 Reasons Why. And over the weekend, I just did it. I just made it because I really wanted to. And I published it on Monday. And then it was just like, this feels good. I'm going to keep doing this. So I'm actually, after this is over, going to go see another movie that Dominic and I are going to actually split editing duties on this one. And that's going to go up Friday. And then we've got a video already set for Monday or Tuesday whenever we release it. So it feels so good, actually. I'd forgotten how much I love uploading YouTube videos. It's so nice. It's almost like being a small creator is really fun.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to do twice a week videos now. This is going to be my second week in a row that I succeed, which is actually a big deal because every time I try to do twice a week uploads, I make it 1 week and then I stop. So
I hadn't done twice a week uploads since July of last year. So it just feels so good to be kind of back. Although I will say it was a bit of a rough start because my Solo movie review, Dominic and I had some editing issues, and then I release it, and I'm releasing it like Friday afternoon, so it's still like pretty early to be releasing it. Like it's good. I couldn't edit it and release it Thursday night because I have work at 5 a.m. on Friday, so that's not an option. But or 6:30, but and then it got 3 views in the first 24 hours, and I was like, oh, that's not good. That is.
Yeah, okay, interesting thing about that. I had 2 videos last week. Both of them did terrible compared to the norm on my channel. And then the video I just uploaded is doing about average. And the only thing I could put my finger on is I typically schedule my videos at 12 a.m. to come out, but the 2 videos that didn't do well, I just uploaded them and made them public like right when I uploaded them because I was behind on filming. So I really wonder if having a certain time you always release your videos affects how much views they get.
I don't know. I do know that, weirdly enough, though it has the least views of any of my videos, since it's actually probably going to have one of my lowest view counts of any video I've ever made. It has gotten an uncommonly high amount of likes, which is nice. And actually, also, another nice thing is that the 13 Reasons Why video has uncommonly high viewer retention for me in terms of like percentage of the video that people watched. So I'm pretty thrilled that all worked out. When you saw that video, what did you think?
Okay, it's time for another confession.
You didn't see it? You started it and didn't finish?
Yeah, exactly.
No, come on, man.
Well, I saw you, like, I think you tweeted it or something, and I'm like, hey, like, I wonder how his video quality is nowadays. So I clicked
Apparently
it.
not good enough for you to watch the whole thing.
No. I meant like production quality. I'm like, hey, this production quality is pretty nice. I have no idea what he's talking about. And that was the end of that.
You didn't. I explained what I was talking about.
You did?
Yeah, dude, how much did you watch?
Like a minute?
It's only it's a 3-minute video. You couldn't watch 3 minutes of something you didn't understand and help my watch retention?
I mean, okay. To save myself, I watched the full Solo review from start to finish right after that because I was like, hey, I can relate to this.
Okay, but I summarized the show in case you haven't seen it. Did you even get to the part where I tie it into the news?
Yeah, but by that point I was so far gone. I saw news clips and I'm like, what? click away.
Was it that incomprehensible?
No, I mean, it was just when I was watching YouTube for leisure, and so my brain wasn't like.
I thought it was a really tight script. I was really proud of it. Dang it.
Well, I'll have to watch it after this episode.
I have no faith that you will do that, but it's fine. Well, what did you think of the solo video then?
I liked it. To be honest, would have preferred you to just have spoilers and go more in depth.
Oh, here's the thing. So you prefer spoilers because you have seen the movie, and I'm with you on that. But what I try to do, and I think what most people try to do when they're making spoiler-free videos for movies, is make it in such a way that anyone who hasn't seen the movie will not get it spoiled, but people who have seen the movie will understand what you're specifically referring to if you kind of allude to something. And I don't remember if I did that in my solo video, but I'm sorry that you would have preferred a spoiler version. I will say the issue with that is I was releasing it on Friday when most people had not seen the movie. And so my review functions more as a should you see it or not versus a here you've seen it, I've seen it, let's talk about it kind of a deal.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And also the other issue is that it would have taken more time just in terms of editing and writing to write a spoiler review because there's so much more to cover in a way. And I don't generally do spoiler reviews except for these MCU ranked thus far. You might be right. Maybe it would have been better, but I don't know. I've never really done spoiler reviews as a general. Just because I think that non-spoilers are just more accessible to everyone.
That is very true.
And I make an accessible video, and then I make a video about 13 reasons why that you just simply do not understand at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a movie or TV watcher.
Right. I feel like something's wrong with my video if you just had no idea what was going on.
I mean, truth be told, I really was not paying that close attention, so I think the fault is on me.
I hope so, because you gotta understand, I like this video so much, I have actually rewatched it like twice after publishing it because I am apparently just very into myself. Like normally I don't rewatch my videos very much, but like this one I was just like, I actually like this video. I feel like this turned out well. Yeah.
Oh, I understand that. I've done that with some of my videos where I can't stop watching. I'm like, ooh, so polished.
What's this guy doing here? He's clearly very talented. Oh.
Something I noticed on your channel is the home tab is only playlists and doesn't have like recent uploads or anything.
It should not be like that. Hold on a second.
Yeah, when I went, I'm like, oh man, his channel looks pretty like a ghost town until you click the videos tab.
So for new visitors, the way it says it is, according to mine, is that you have playlists on the bottom, and then for my trailer, I have my 13 Reasons Why video.
Huh. Oh, well, I'm subscribed to you, so there's no trailer for me.
And it says for returning... Oh, I see where that's an issue. I have a what to watch next section, but I don't think I put that together.
Yeah, and then I would also advise putting like a recent videos section, maybe above or below the playlists.
Right, that's a good idea. I don't generally go to my channel as a subscribed person. I'm disappointed in myself. I've had this channel for a long time. I mean, my playlists are fine. They show the various versions of this channel, but they're certainly not particularly eye-catching. That's something I will have to take care of then. I'm going to do that later, but not now. Okay, well, now that we've critiqued my channel, and by critiqued my channel, found out that Christian does not pay any attention.
Very true.
You know, I mean, I don't watch all of your videos, so I can't be too critical. But if I do watch them, I usually watch most of them.
Right, just for audience retention's sake, I will go and watch I will click on your 5 most recent videos and let the whole thing play. I may or may not pay attention.
Or alternatively, You could just watch my 5 most recent videos. I mean, actually, I would not, because 2 of those videos are over 10 minutes long, and that's a lot of commitment, and I don't feel like you should have to make that commitment. But I feel like you should definitely actually give the 13 Reasons Why video a chance. It's 3 minutes long. The end screen is 20 seconds, so it's only 3 minutes. It's very brief.
I will definitely watch it from start to finish with undivided attention. And then at the end, I will comment.
You've already commented on it without seeing the whole thing.
No, but I'll comment something obscure from the video that stands out to me, so you know I watched it.
Oh, okay. I will wait to see this. I do have to say, I feel like this video should be more accessible, because ultimately it's kind of not even about 13 Reasons Why. It's the video is ultimately that about how we get a lot of people on film Twitter, and this maybe is a bit of a film Twitter kind of video, directed video in some ways. People get really upset about the TV show 13 Reasons Why, and we worry that it's going to lead to copycat suicides, which it in fact has, and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that those concerns aren't inherently valid, but we completely, as a culture thus far, have turned a blind eye to the news doing the same thing with mass shooters, and just have let them kind of immortalize them in a way that does inspire copycats. And that's arguably one of the reasons why the cycle of mass shootings has gotten faster and faster. And a more cynical person might suggest that the media is doing it intentionally because mass shootings boost ratings through the roof.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. I mean, I agree from the ratings perspective, because I saw an article, I don't remember who it was from, but a while back, pointing out how, I think it was CNN, said they made up some number in January, like, I don't know, 18 school shootings so far in the year. And if you really analyze their claims, most of them were like isolated to either one person, or someone like pulled a gun and aimed it at one specific person and didn't end up firing. So they're doing like everything they can to stretch things to make it seem super scary.
I agree. I think also the video that I mentioned, like I suggest that you watch this other video in my video. And if you're only going to watch one video, watch that one, not mine. I shouldn't tell you not to watch my video, but this guy's video, Cody, have you ever heard of the channel Alternate History Hub?
I have not.
It's just like a channel where it analyzes, like, what if some historical event was different than it is? How would that have affected the future? But he made this video that I kind of I took a lot from in some ways, which is about the media's exploitation of gun violence. And it's a remarkably well-made video. I think I watched it 3 times on like the first day I viewed it. So maybe give that a look. Just saying. And I'm staring at my video feed, and I keep staring at the thumbnail of my video, should Ben have been gay in It, the movie from 2017. My buddy Zach does my thumbnails sometimes, and he made just the cringiest thumbnail. Like, you can probably see it if you just look on my feed, but for those of you that are listening, it has Pennywise the clown in the background with the character Ben in the foreground with his hands over his cheeks and a surprised expression on his face. And then over Pennywise's face in big pink letters, it says gay with a rainbow question mark.
Yeah, it's colorful.
It's a terrible thumbnail.
I'd like to point out how your MCU ranked thumbnails are all the same, just with different text.
Yeah, no, that's not different text and color. That's intentional. And heroes. Like, it's supposed to look like an ongoing part of a series.
Fair enough. Wow, we've really hijacked this podcast.
How long have we been going?
26 minutes.
Wow, that is longer than I intended. And I just wanted to mention, before we get into the main topic, among all the other things I've mentioned, that Alex from the last podcast, who wanted, if you don't remember or are a new listener, wanted to start a Christian music review podcast, emailed us back and said that he is working on a trailer to send to us. So I'm excited for Alex's podcast because I want to learn more about Christian music and hopefully hear it get ripped to shreds if it's bad. So I'm excitedly awaiting that trailer.
I am as well. The world needs a podcast like that.
All right, let's maybe dip our toes into the main topic, which is not a particularly long one, but I think we can talk about the impact that it might have on small creators. After all, our podcast is called the Podcast for Small Creators.
Very true. So essentially, a user on Twitter noticed that their subscription box feed was not so normal. The problem was it was out of order. Yes, that's right. Videos were not in chronological order when he went there. So he tweeted at Team YouTube and asked them what was going on. And they replied essentially saying that they're experimenting with a small group of users with adding an algorithm to the sub box and seeing whether it improves watch time for YouTube as a whole. So I have several problems with this. My first problem is that the sub box was always intended to be chronological because your recommended feed is the spot YouTube has for the algorithm to decide what it thinks you want to see. But the sub box always was supposed to function as a central place you go to see the stuff you or people you subscribe to are releasing in the order they release it. And my second problem is, if they're so against that, why wouldn't they just get rid of it? Why do we need yet another place with an algorithm? So I'm puzzled on many levels.
So I want to take your second thought first. Why wouldn't they just get rid of it? Because there's going to be much worse backlash if they just get rid of the sub feed versus customizing it. I think their thought is that, so firstly, people subscribe to stuff and then stop watching, right? And then it just clogs their feed up. And so your feed can get kind of junky. And so maybe YouTube was thinking that they could kind of optimize your feed by pushing down stuff that you don't watch generally, like from channels that you don't watch, and putting up stuff that you will want to see probably. And also, as has been pointed out by many people, sub boxes are great for channels that release shows daily, but is not so good for channels that release stuff occasionally because it can be lost much more easily. So a suggestion that I have heard that I'm really all for is putting just a line of like 5 videos above the rest of the sub box, which has like videos you have not yet watched. And it's like, hey, you might have missed these and you might want to watch them. That I think would be completely reasonable. But I think to take away the last part of YouTube, which is actually controlled by the subscriber, is a huge mistake.
Yeah, I certainly agree. I like your idea of the small section of what you may have missed, because it would work a lot like Twitter. They've got a what you may have missed section, but then the tweets are still in chronological order.
Right. To be clear, though, it was not my idea. It was someone on Twitter's, and I took it.
Well, I like your pirated idea. So let's be honest, though. It does no good for us to sit here and complain about why YouTube shouldn't do it or how they could do it better. The bottom line is, if they're going to do it, they're doing it because they're YouTube, they're a monster, and sadly, they make the rules. So how, as small creators, can you sort of combat this? What can you do in response to make sure your views are not hurt from this? I have a couple ideas.
I have an idea too, Christian. I think our favorite resident tech YouTuber, who probably doesn't know how to make apps, but I'm going to pretend that if you're into tech, you know how to make apps, should make an app that automatically creates like a sub feed on like a YouTube-like website from all your subscriptions on YouTube.
Okay.
And that would make all the money.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. Wow.
I mean, I have no idea how to do that, but maybe someone does. I would absolutely download that app.
Yeah, I can't say I would because I never used the sub box, but I definitely see the appeal.
Oh, I almost exclusively use it when it comes to watching channels I'm subscribed to.
So obviously, people say post notifications. That's one way you can combat it. However, you may have heard that post notifications in themselves are starting to get unreliable and sketchy. I would say that's the first line of defense. Really try to get people to enable post notifications at the end of your videos. I know I do. But then you can also get creative. Like I saw Philip DeFranco encouraging people to follow him on Twitter and enable tweet notifications because he will tweet when he puts out a new video. So definitely diversify where your audience is. Here's something unconventional, but it's something that I think still has a market, and that's email marketing. It may be seen as dinosaur to some people, but a lot of people have an email app on their phone and their email is connected. So you could use a free service like MailChimp and simply send out an email every time you upload a new video. Stuff like that.
That's not a bad idea, though I do worry it might get annoying.
I mean, it's pretty similar of just having post notifications, but in particular, this one guy got really creative. This tech YouTuber I watch, he literally bought the domain notificationsquad.net. And if you go to it, you put in your name and your email, and it's just like a one button site to sign up for the email list for notifications. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Wow. Dang. I'm annoyed I didn't think of that. I mean, I don't think I have enough for that to be a reasonable thing to do, but still, that's great. Sorry. I just was so taken with that idea. You're right, though. Diversification is a great idea. And it does a lot. Another thing, I don't know if this would work, but maybe suggest to your audience if they are worried about missing videos, if your computer is always in the same place, and if you have like a convenient like thumbtack board or something where you can put a piece of paper, and I know this is really analog and, so you probably won't like that, Christian, but write down the YouTube channels that you don't want to miss videos from, and you can literally just use those and check once a week if they're not a daily upload person to make sure that there's no videos you missed. And I know that's super analog, but just that's kind of where my mind goes.
Yeah, honestly, that's how I watch YouTube is 100%. My recommended feed really has most of it, but then there's some YouTubers that I really like that I check. Usually they show up in my recommended feed because I watch their videos so often. But if they don't, I remember usually once a week or once every other week to look up their channel manually.
And I think small YouTubers often have it's a very small core base, but usually you have like a core base of even just a few people that really like your videos. And they're kind of important because they're usually the ones that watch your whole video. So it's a good idea potentially just to find ways to make sure that they see it. Because it's definitely in your best interest for the people that watch the whole video to see your video,
Yeah, I know if I forget to post a video to Twitter and Instagram, it does a lot worse.
That has not been true for me so much, but that's more because I think that my videos are often very I don't have a huge Twitter following, and so it's not a huge issue for me. But one thing I want to bring up from not last month, we're going to post more often than once a month. How exciting is that? Potentially. No promises.
No promises.
Yeah. But I said that someone was going to tweet us, and I was wrong. And you said I wouldn't bring it up, but I'm here to prove that I'm a humble person, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. And it was not Viper, who I was sure was going to tweet us or comment on YouTube or something. Someone did. I don't remember who it was, but someone did. So that was nice, but I was wrong.
Man, Viper not coming through, dude. No, it's
yeah.
I honestly, I kind of expected that too, but hey, he's a busy man nowadays. His channel's exploded. I don't know if you know much about him, but he started his channel in January. And he now has 720 subscribers.
Oh, I hate those people. I hate people that are like, yeah, I'm hoping to get 1,000 subs in the first year, and then they do, and I'm like, oh, okay, but you're the worst.
This dude is uploading almost every day. Like, he has got some serious power. I mean,
that's the thing though. Usually the people that do explode like that, like they deserve it. My video has the right number of subscribers for the content I have put out. And I reached 100 like last summer, and I have grown like not at all since then because of how rarely I posted. So it's on me, the fact that my channel is not bigger in a lot of ways. But it's just like, it's so depressing when it's like some guy's like, I started a year ago and I have 1,000 subscribers. And I'm like, I should make better videos.
yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I've been there before, except with higher numbers. like
Yeah.
like 2,000.
Yeah. Well, you're at almost 1,700, right?
Oh, I wish. I am trying to break 1,400, but I haven't
1,400. Yeah.
I haven't gained a sub or like more than like one sub in like 2 weeks. It's kind of depressing. My whole channel's going through a drought right now, but that's okay. I know it's gonna come out of it soon.
I gained one sub for the first time in like ages this past week, and I was so excited about this one random person.
That's awesome.
That's what happens when you have 105 subscribers.
It's so discouraging when you gain one sub and then like 5 minutes later you lose one.
Yeah. And you wonder if it was just one person who was like screwing with you.
Yeah.
It's rough. I'm going to bring us on another tangent. We need to come up with a cool nickname for your brother, our editor.
Okay. He is going to hate me so much for this. However, I have this agenda of calling him by this really stupid nickname he hates. Because one day I was like, so his name is Zach, first of all. And so I was like, dude, what if your name was spelled XAQ? Zach. And I don't know, it just really rubbed him the wrong way. And he hates when I say that. So I literally will call him XAQ. I'll be like, yo, XAQ, get over here. And it strikes a nerve, and I love it.
I don't know. XAQ might be too many syllables.
Yeah, that's the downside, is you have to spell it. Otherwise, you would not know that it's spelled that way just by saying.
What if we called him QAX, Quacks?
Okay.
Quacks the Great and Powerful. Quacks, you're not allowed to edit any of this out. This is all staying in.
Oh man, Christian Miller has spoken. Quacks.
I will be listening.
Yeah, we can if we make a Facebook Messenger group with him, we're totally changing his nickname to that.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, now that that's handled. No, but when it comes to YouTube, the subscription feed, I think the only thing you can do is diversify where you're posting your videos. Not like just post to YouTube, but I mean, make sure it's on Twitter, maybe Instagram or Facebook, depending. Sometimes you can just use Twitter, but like it might be a good idea to go beyond that. Also, Reddit can be helpful.
Oh, yes.
Posting it to Reddit can be very useful. I do that sometimes.
Finding the correct subreddit is very important.
It's not difficult if you are posting movie reviews, because you just go to like movie critics and it's like, da-da, boop, and it's very simple. But no, I think that's really all you can do, is trying to diversify and then encourage your subscribers to be active, right, in watching your content, not just to wait for it to be served to you, but checking their sub feed, following you on other social media, maybe putting a piece of paper on the wall with your name on it. I don't know, whatever floats your boat.
Yep, diversification. Well, we are actually already at our time limit, but I think we're going to keep rambling for some time.
Okay, so here's what I think we should do is we're at 44 minutes, give or take a little bit. And I really hate that we go over. It annoys me a lot because I want us to be at 44 minutes. However, I also think that this episode finally had the rambling, absolutely talking about nothingness that so many podcasts that I admire, namely Dear Hank and John, have.
I think it's important to definitely do the solo part because we talked about that in the last.
Oh, no, I agree. So Christian saw a movie. which is just insane. He saw Solo. He was going to see Black Panther, but then he did not do that like he was supposed to because he is a quitter.
I got
He is
sick,
a quitter.
guys.
Quitter.
I was okay. If you want details, I was having stomach issues, and I'm not gonna say the side effects of stomach issues. However, I can say that it would have interrupted the movie like every 10 minutes.
That's disgusting. So here's what I think is Solo is going to be such a topic. I don't think we're going to have this conversation in 5 minutes. So here is what I suggest, because I want people to go to my channel and watch stuff. And this is kind of related to my thing. What we do is we post this episode. We finish this episode up, post it to your channel like we do always, and then online as, you know, the podcast. And then as a separate Christian's channel only kind of side thing, we post our discussion of Solo on there.
That makes so much sense.
I mean, it's the only thing is that people won't be able to listen to it as a podcast so much because it'll be on YouTube. Or I mean, you won't be able to, you'll have to see it on the YouTube app. But I mean, among the issues, that's not really.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's the way to go.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we figured this out in the middle of the podcast recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to hear the not second half, but like kind of addendum to this podcast in which Christian, a person who dearly loves movies, and Christian, a person who kind of hates them, talk about the newest Star Wars movie, go ahead and go over to my channel, youtube.com/sibling cinema. That's SIBLINGCINEMA, Sibling Cinema, and go ahead and give that a watch.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, guys. I am not a movie person.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get Christian to watch a movie again, but, you know, we'll see, I guess.
I watched a YouTube Red original movie once.
Why?
I mean,
what was it?
The Thinning.
Oh, no, with Logan Paul? Why?
Because, I mean, okay, it was before I knew who Logan Paul was. So.
And you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, I did, and I enjoyed it.
What?
And I was like, man, the guy who is now I know is Logan Paul. I didn't know at the time. I'm like, this guy looks like such a Disney movie character, like because of his haircut.
Oh gosh, I can't believe you watched that movie. Oh my gosh, I watched the Emoji Movie, but even I didn't stoop as low as The Thinning.
I was bored one night.
Okay, if you're bored, Christian, and you want to watch a movie, dear God, just text me. Just text me. Hey, Christian.
But this
Christian,
was before I
what's
knew
a movie?
you.
What? That is no excuse. Oh gosh, I can't. Oh, you know, okay. After the podcast last week, we were talking about movies, and you revealed to me that you like Hallmark movies. And that was almost enough for me to end the podcast. But, you know, at this point, with the revelation of that you've watched The Thinning, I'm so seriously considering it. I can't even handle this. What is wrong with you?
I mean, okay. Hallmark movies are designed to be feel-good movies. So it's not something you watch when you're wanting a plot. You watch it the end of the day.
There are great feel-good movies with plot. You can have both.
Yeah, that's what Hallmark Movies and Mysteries is for.
No! No, that's wrong. Take my favorite movie of all time, Remember the Titans, which is definitely a feel-good movie, but it has a plot and emotion and Denzel Washington. Do you even know who that is?
Nope.
Okay, we're going to end this podcast before I strangle you over the internet.
This podcast is titled Christian Gets Triggered.
I am so triggered right now. I am unbelievable. Wow. I'm not even talking to the microphone.
I'm just sitting here in my chair like nothing's happening, just casually talking into my mic.
I actually bent over and like screamed at the ground a little bit.
Wow.
Oh gosh, I'm almost crying from like internal laughter.
Well,
okay.
Hey,
how do we normally?
I think we just say like subscribe, on Apple
Yeah.
Podcasts and Google Play or wherever
And
you
I think
listen to it.
Stitcher as well, but not SoundCloud yet because we don't want to pay money.
Yep, we're cheap.
Very much so. And again, you can watch the second half of, or the addendum to this podcast at youtube.com/sibling cinema, or you can go to Christian Taylor's videos for not that. But why would you do that? You want to go to my channel, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But then also go to his.
Cool. We will see you guys next time. Or actually, we'll talk to you next time because we're not actually seeing anyone.
Right. But hopefully we'll talk to you in the addendum at my channel. But who can say?
Very true.
We'll link it in the description.
That is true. Okay. Bye.